I'm sure you can agree that mapping out a realistic time frame for grass growth isn't as easy as it sounds. There are a lot of different factors to consider, such as the amount of sunlight and watering received, the type of fertilisers you use, and the site soil conditions. In this video, I'm going to provide a clear overview of these factors and when you can expect to see grass growth on your site. Hi, I'm Kane from Valley Hydromulch and Revegetation. Ultimately, the time taken for grasses to grow on your site is highly variable and dependent mainly on the following factors. Number 1, the amount of sunlight that is shining on the areas on your site. Grass gets the energy that it needs to grow from sunlight in a process known as photosynthesis. Less sunlight means less energy and therefore a smaller amount of growth. Number 2, the amount of water that your site receives. Your site may receive water through means of irrigation or natural rainfall. For photosynthesis to occur, plants require water. The water is absorbed by the roots and in doing so transports vital nutrients from the soil into the plant. Number 3, the amount of fertiliser that is already present in the soil or incorporated into your mix. Typical fertilisers have varying levels of nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, each of which serve the following important functions. Nitrogen works to promote green, healthy and dense leaf growth through the production of chlorophyll. Phosphorus works to promote healthy root development. Potassium promotes the movement of vital fertilisers inside the plants, such as water and sugars. Number 4, the structure and health of the soil. Good soil structure promotes good soil health. A soil with a good structure is one that is adequately aerated. This promotes the infiltration of rainfall and in turn any microfine ameliorants that are included. The result of adequate aeration is that surface runoff is reduced as the water can soak into the soil rather than running off it or across it. Number 5, the degree to which surface preparation has been carried out. Adequate surface preparation is essential as it provides a mean for the application to lock into the soil surface. The idea of this is that when the roots begin to grow, they grow onto the site soil, rather than in the localised green of the application. For areas where rock is present, initial growth will be seen for a short period of time, as the grasses will tend to grow within the application. However, when the grasses have exhausted all of the nutrients in the application and extend their roots downwards only to find rock, they will end up dying. And last but not least, the temperature of the soil. The temperature of the soil is an important factor to consider for both warm season grasses and cool season grasses. For warm season grasses to germinate and continue growing, temperatures of between 22 and 32 degrees Celsius are favourable. For cool season grasses to germinate and continue growing, temperatures of between 15 and 25 degrees Celsius are favourable. You may be thinking, what if the grasses on my site are exposed to temperatures which are outside of this range? Ultimately, the ranges provided here are those which allow for the best level of growth in the grasses. Grasses will still grow outside these temperature ranges, but slower growth times or prolonged growth periods may occur. At this point, you're probably wondering what grass types are commonly included in a revegetation mix, as well as the approximate growing times of each, subject to the conditions I've already mentioned in this video. Well, there are 3 main types: annual, perennial and natives. Annual grass is established quickly to form a cover on the surface to aid in erosion control. In favourable conditions, these grasses take as little as 5 days to sprout and 45 days to reach full germination. Typically, annual grasses will hay off 2 to 3 months following their initial sprout. They will not regerminate unless they are resown. Typical annual grasses include Japanese millet, which is sown in the warmer months, and rye corn, which is sown in the cooler months. At the time where the cooler months begin to turn into the warmer months, such as between September and August, as well as March and April, it is an industry accepted practice to sow a combination of the cool season and warm season annual grasses. Perennial grasses begin to emerge following the haying off of annual grasses. One of the most commonly used perennial grasses is perennial rye. Perennial grasses are often covered with a cover crop. Native grasses will begin germination approximately 12 to 18 months following initial application. Native grasses are the most permanent of all of these grass types. Commonly included grasses include kangaroo grass, wallaby grass and weeping grass. If you would like to learn more about the seeds we use in the different applications we provide, give us a call at the office on 4988 6111.